This week's carbon tax announcement by the government coincides with a meeting of top climate scientists in Melbourne. Some of those attending the conference say the scheme sends a significant message to other Western nations.
Dr Malte Meinhausen is a key scientific advisor to Germany and a member of the Potsdam Institute for Climate Impact Research. Dr Meinhausen joins us now in the studio. Dr Meinhausen, good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much. Great to be here.
The question that I guess is exercising people's minds in Australia right now is, can we afford this carbon tax? Is it going to ruin our way of living? The question for you is it actually going to do what the government says it will do? Will it reduce our emissions? Will it make a big difference?
Well, that's the evidence that we see in Europe. I mean, there was a carbon tax introduced in 2005, and there were lots of mistakes made at the beginning. Australia is now great and learning from these mistakes and doing it right in the beginning and putting a fixed price on carbon right now, and then you have an emission trading system a couple of years down the line. So there, in Europe, the emission decreased by 16%, the GDP rose by 40%. So it's nothing like crippling the economy. We have a great economy boom now in Germany, for example, and we're revolutionizing our energy system.
You don't have a great economic boom in a lot of other places in Europe.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But still, going to renewable energies in now one of the wealthy nations is not... the German example, etc., tells us it can be done. It can be done under a conservative liberal government. So there is some hope. However, I came not at all here to preach Australians how to do climate policy. I just moved here. It's great. It's a really great country, and now I'm one of the high emitters club myself. I just moved into a house, and we have, I don't know, 2-finger-wide cracks beneath the door. So in terms of insulation, etc., lots can be done, and I'm now one of these high emitters. So far, the message from Australia has been, look, guys, we have the highest per capita emissions in the developed world. We are one of the richest nations, and yet we can't be bothered to even attempt to do something about climate mitigation. And that message has now changed over the weekend, and that's very good, because that message so far was pretty ironic. Australia is likely to be hit hardest by climate change. Terrible droughts in the southwest, floods on the other side of the continent. So it was very ironic from Australia to send that message to the world. Well, probably it's too hard for us. What do you tell the Chinese people? What do you tell the Indian people if one of the richest nations in the world can't do anything about it?
Do the carbon reduction targets seem to you to be realistic? It's a rather modest one to begin with, that 5% reduction by 2020, but then hopefully an 80% reduction on our emissions by 2050. Is that a realistic target?
Well, we have lots of scenarios that tell us it's economically feasible, it's technically feasible. The big question is there the political will to do it? So we don't have any constraints in terms of feasibility. It can be done.
Although it's being suggested that for some sectors of the economy, it's actually going to be economically quite painful, that difficult transition, say, from people in the coal industry, that industry itself and its workers is transitioning out to what exactly? That shift surely is economically painful as well as being personally painful.
Yes, but it's a transition of a long time. And then the question is, where do you put all the billions of investments that are going into the energy infrastructure? Do you put them, continue to put them into coal, or do you continue to put them into a clean energy economy and build up an economy? And Australia is a great place. It has lots of solar, it has lots of wind potential. So you can actually build up a clean energy economy that is quite thriving. It was ironic so far that Australia didn't follow that path.
What's been the European experience on the job front? Because the argument is, as Virginia was alluding to, that some areas of the country, job losses will be significant. There'll be other areas that boom as a result. But some areas that are based around mining, for instance, will struggle, or the use of coal. Has that played out in Europe? Or have you found that jobs have been created in the same areas where there would have been job losses because of dirty energy production? Yeah.
First of all, there's nothing like an immediate cut and industries going out of business and coal mining's having it's the immediate death of coal mines. Absolutely not. I mean, if that would be the case, that would mean we could stop emissions tomorrow easily. But no, that's not the case. It's a slow transition, and yes, you have a restructuring of the economy, but over the long term, I mean, you have tons of jobs in renewable energies in Germany, now in wind, in solar, PV, and I mean China is moving in the greater with great ambitions, and they saw the win-win situation. They have now all the technologies for electrical vehicles, for solar PV, and they're exporting them to the world. So really a lot of other countries are there ahead, and it's a great chance for Australia again to move in that direction with all the solar potential, with all the wind potential that they have.
Dr. Malte Meinhausen, you're part of a conference that's going on in Australia at the moment, the 4 degree conference. That 4 degree refers to 2 degrees above what we were told just a short time ago was going to be the maximum amount of global temperature that we really should tolerate. You're now saying that we've missed that 2 degree target and it's now 4 degrees warmer?
No, we didn't miss the 2 degree target yet. The 2 degree target can be reached if there's the political will, and it's actually the ambition of the international community to to avoid dangerous climate change with beyond the 2 degrees. However, with the current emission reductions that are put on the table, we are likely going to head to a world which is 3-4 degrees by the end of the century, with a lot of sea level rise in the coming, with lots of droughts, with probably changing monsoon patterns, with lots of impacts in Australia particularly.
Dr. Malte Meinhausen, good to meet you. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.